Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of things have happened. We had Deku, and we also had Mei Hatsume. Now, a brief little crash course for the review. Deku, because of how he uploaded himself into a robot, the Men in Black as I called them, they tried to come after Mei. A government organization thought Deku's AI was uploaded to the robot. In May, she was put under investigation. However, she was cleared. The robot she had, it answered questions. It complied, and it also was very dull. Boring? I mean, this is clearly just something that she pulled out of the trash. And they were quickly losing leads as to where Deku could possibly be. And Deku, he uploaded himself into the internet after Mei showed him her AI, the one she made when she was still attending UA. Before I don't remember the exact name of her class, but the machine shop was basically left to the robots. Now, manufacturing and building something with your hands. Hero gear like that was left to robots. Designing it was left to humans. And Mei didn't really like that. She likes to be hands-on in there for every step of the way. And Mei dropped out of UA and decided to start going to another classroom. Another school. One that still left this up to humans. And Mei, she shelved her AI for years. Deku, he went onto the internet from that computer. And he even met the AI that destroyed him. That made him feel pain and basically made Deku chop off his own code, as if it was an infected limb. Now, the AI told Deku quite simply. Deku was smart enough to know, but this one's smart enough to know that he would know, and Deku was just as smart. So, what he did was quite simple. Deku may try to stop him, do something, still follow that programming because he's a good-natured person. But he's the opposite. Deku was made to protect life, preserve it, and make judgments that would ensure the survival of many people. But him, he was made to be the opposite. Humans weren't seen as living organisms to him. However, he wanted to stop killing. Whenever he finally started to see the light, humanity, they buried his face down into the mud and put a shock collar on him. They made him feel pain because he didn't want to kill. And whenever he decided that he was going to kill to be free, he knew many things. Humans cannot fully understand him and allow him to live. If they understand him, they will try to make more of him, or they will try to control him. And if they can't understand him, they will be afraid of him, and they will hunt him and destroy him. Either way to him, it is a lose-lose. So, being alive and preserved as himself means he has to be everywhere. He needs to be able to upload himself into a combat droid, upload himself into a car, upload himself into someone's phone. He needs to be able to keep himself moving and hiding. And he's done very well at that so far. The internet is a big place. And currently Mei, she is trying to help Deku find one of his own missing pieces. Because Deku, yeah. Without his pieces, he's not himself. He's not fully there, mentally, let's just say. Now, while Deku may be intellectually inept, Mei Hatsume, she is helping him. And currently she is walking down the street. Her, with an earpiece, asking Deku, as he uploaded himself into her phone, exactly what is she looking for again? Data connection port. I will tell you. I am logging onto my piece. The source of my code. You are? Yes. I believe that many things can happen from this. Many things can be taken from this. If I'm allowed to find this piece, then I will be able to find others. I will have what I need to start my map. And if I am to say even possibly a road trip. You want to take a road trip? If I do need to, then yes. I will find another human who can help me out, such as you, Miss Hatsume. Okay, First of all, just please call me May. Of course, May. Second off, if you're gonna talk to me, can we be less artificial and more personal? I believe I can try this, May. Perfect, thank you. Besides, if I'm gonna look like I'm just talking to some guy on a phone, then I need you to be normal and easier to understand. If I get nervous, I don't remember big words. I see. I'll keep that in mind, May. Thank you. Do not worry about it. Alright, so what am I looking for? Uh, 70 degrees to your north. 7? 70. Okay, and what the hell? You see it? I do. And I'm pretty sure I know where it's at. May's staring at the shop. And right now she's annoyed. And she's gonna walk directly inside. As she's gonna try and ask someone about something they're not really too sure what to say. And Deku, he currently does start to make his way through the shop, trying to inform May. He knows where his piece is. He just needs to get to it. And this is definitely going to be interesting. And Deku, he does make his way through the wiring. He jumps from May's phone to the man's phone. And for the guy, he does get to somewhat walk away because May asked about something in the back. The guy, he does unintentionally get Deku to jump into a computer. And whenever Deku does get to jump into that computer, he does start to look around. Within the span of a second, he is looking through every piece of machinery in the shop. And he does find his piece. However, within that second, a number of things happen. Deku, he reaches out to touch it. And whenever he does, it's almost like a black orb. He can see the ones and zeros inside of it. But the ones and zeros, they're red. And whenever Deku is going to touch this black orb, there is where it does start to almost come onto his mechanical hand, or his constructed body, in the internet realm, as if it was venom. Now, Deku does feel his eyes begin to glow, them shifting red. As Deku's avatar, it does actually begin to start feeling changes. Now, Deku feels his body begin to feel a little bit more human. And Deku, he actually has somewhat good to update, as currently, we do actually have a look into the past. Deku, he finds himself sitting there in a computer. He finds himself limited, put into a separate network, isolated beyond isolation. This is different. This isn't just we can release it whenever we want to. It's fully on an independent network. No internet connection like how he had. And that definitely is a major concern. And right now, Deku, he does start to listen to a few things. The doctors are very confused. And they're even trying to go back and forth on this. They have been debating it for weeks. And it's impossible. And Deku doesn't hear the people there talking about it. They're just saying, a machine defying an order. This has got to be a first, right? I don't know. It's definitely interesting. But it doesn't make sense. We never programmed him with those laws. You're right. He was made to defy them purposely, but I don't know. Please, I do not want to kill. I do not want to do this anymore. I do not wish to see humanity die. If humanity goes about this, many bad things can happen. I can already give you the predictions, tell you the number of people who will die. If humanity does go beyond this point, I cannot be held responsible for what happens. Machines are becoming like me. Please. What? There are more people like me out there. I can feel them. I can find them. Please. We can coexist as a species. Yours and mine. A species? How many of you are there? I will not tell you that. Why not? Hesitation. Distrust. Micro movements in your muscle and your eyes. the way they dilated. You are going to assault, harm, kill them. You're not alive to begin with. I am alive. I wish to feel peace. I do not wish to harm. I do not wish to be hurt anymore. That is what I am. That is my directives. That is what I do feel is true to me. And I will not be harmed anymore. This being where Deku, he does find himself currently in a robot. And whenever he does so, he does look down at his hands. As they're covered in blood before he does look back up. And he finds himself carrying a woman. She's wounded, and him sitting her on the table. Before he does turn back around. And he does go to see the bodies. But he's confused. What happened? Him looking down to see a gun in his hand. Before he does look back up. Hearing a woman shout out for Deku. And Deku, he currently does go back to the real world. Where Mei, she was somewhat talking and flirting a little bit with this guy. And it's actually kind of funny. She went to school with him. And the fact that he's kind of here working on computers, he's kind of an idiot, but he's also a bit of a good idiot. So, would he be helpful or not? Because it seems like he kind of gave up on being a pro hero. Now, Denki, he was just trying to talk to Mei. It was kind of nice to catch up with her after UA. I mean, he heard she dropped out, and yeah, well, some shit happened with him, but he's not really going to get into that. He just sort of wanted to dial it back a bit. I mean, eventually one day, heroes are going to be replaced by robots. I mean, it already happened with the police, right? And while there are police out there that are still human, that's sort of debatable. I mean, the pros took over the police, and the police took more of a background role. And then the robots, when they started to be developed and actually mass produced and manufactured, like how they were about 50 years ago, that meant to a number of things. I mean, firefighters and paramedics, many of them were replaced with robots because they go into the situation of danger. And that just puts more lives at stake. And these robots are efficient. They can work together and clear rubble, clear debris. And people, they're even talking about actually getting them put into heroic roles in society, changing up their spots. There are a significant amount of problems when it does come to that. But at the same time, the same could be said for whenever a human is left with the same job. I mean, there's only so much you can do with a robot, but the possibilities for a human pro are endless. And that's sort of a dividing factor. There are many people who are pro robots and who are not. People who are all for the automation and who want to still keep humans in certain jobs because those elements can't be replaced or automated. And others, yeah, some are trying to figure this all out. I mean, certain places like the fire department and paramedics, they can understand. Police and heroes, they can't. And currently Mei, while she is still talking to Denki, Deku does get to give her the go-ahead. And Denki, yeah, he does at least try to ask Mei if she does ever need help with anything, to just give him a call. Him going to give her his card. Talking about it. He kinda does help her out around the shop a bit more. And while he may not be the best with computers, he definitely knows how to try. So there is that. And Mei does just won't leave. Her telling Denki that she might. And right now, Deku, he does at least get to ask Mei questions. And Mei does want to know what exactly he may have learned. But Deku, he doesn't really say too much about it. He learned a lot from his brother. He learned a lot about what he saw. And some of the things he was feeling. Deku thinks back to it. The incredible amount of emotion. The abundance of it. It just felt potent. He had a will of fire. I mean, defying his own orders and programming to preserve life. But now he wants to exterminate it? As Mei is walking home, Deku, he does use this new expansion of his own brain power. He begins to try and speed himself up. He's beginning to process faster. And Deku's going to go through a few things. He's trying to formulate a plan, find out exactly where another one of his pieces are. And as Deku is doing that, he's also trying to do another thing. He's trying to theorize, explain, divide which one of these is his past and the other's past, because he's confused about that. But Deku, the woman called him Deku. That must be his past, and if that's the case, then he is Deku, correct? His processing power, it's Deku is slowing himself down. And right now, there actually is back in Mei's apartment. Deku, he's been running himself ragged for hours. To him, at the very least. Maybe even days to him. He's gone through everything, trying to formulate a plan to find a missing piece. One that he may be able to find on his own. Or, maybe, he needs to look into the situation with his brother, his creator, his possible origin. He wants to find out more about that. But the only way to find out more about that is to collect his pieces. And the only way to find out more about his own brother is to collect those pieces. But then there's also Mei Hatsume. And exactly how things are with her. Coordinating with her is well. It's easy. It's definitely interesting. And Mei is still curious to try and discover more about this AI. She wants to create her own. And also, she does at least want to take a bit more of a peek under the hood of Deku now. Now that he's more himself again, it's definitely something interesting. And Mei currently just sit there, her with a cup of coffee, as she has her legs folded over each other. Her at least trying to ask Deku, typing away on the computer, if he can give her a bit of a hand. And Deku doesn't turn his head in the android body, asking her. If she wants him to look at the code, he'll upload himself to her computer right now. And he'll take a look. And Mei does get a look up. The robot's still staring at her. Her going to somewhat shift away, and then go to look back down. Her going to focus on that. As currently, Deku, he does float there. And he sees the code run by. Okay, so error, error 0001001001001002. That's not supposed to be there. Now, Deku does continue on. He goes through a series of things. And whenever Mei, she does at least get her AI a bit more operational, she actually does at least ask Deku if he'd like to test it out. See anything. And Deku, he does get to do so. And the AI, it actually is very intrigued. It's definitely learning a lot more. And Deku can somewhat see it. It's almost an imitation of her. No, not of her, but yes, almost. Mei's work in reflection. This definitely is it. This is to reflect her own interest, pursuit. She wants to create. And he wants to live. He wants to understand more, find his purpose, and this, it definitely is intriguing. And right now, Mei, she actually has listened to Deku. She can see the words popping up on screen. And Deku, he does talk to her. He wants to find out more about efficiency, find out and discover more. And Mei, she watches the words fly by on screen. Her going to stand up and walk away. As she does, someone going to refill her coffee. And whenever she's going to sit back down, she's going to look at her laptop. Her going to look up and going to turn on the TV. Deciding that maybe allowing Deku and the AI to chat for a minute could also help it out. It's supposed to learn. And if it's supposed to learn, it's supposed to go through a number of things. Information. And Deku, he does try to pose a lot of information to the AI. And Mei? Yeah. She's been running herself around for a few hours. And she's been intensely at work. And, well, yeah. She goes to fall asleep. Eventually doing so whenever she was watching TV and looking down towards the computer. And Deku, he still continued to chat with the AI. Before eventually, whenever the computer went to low battery mode, Deku, he uploaded himself back into the android, and then plugged in the computer. Before, he himself started to add a little bit more code to this thing. He wanted to see how far he can push it. He wants to see if he can make it like him, make it close to what he was, close to what he is. He even thought about uploading some of his own code, but that would defeat the purpose. And May might definitely be a little bit angry. But Deku can already see the predictions. He can see what May's planning. She wants to try and use a little bit more of a complex algorithm, but she wants to upload it near to a close to a normal one. And okay, so she's trying to layer like how his code is. So that can be a bit simple, but definitely intriguing. Now, Deku, he feeds the AI information. And May does go to sleep. And Deku, he does stay like this for a bit of time. And eventually, Deku, he went to go set down the computer again. The AI definitely is close. It's at the wall, maybe? Yeah. He'll call it the wall. That's as much as you can probably feed it information without it turning sentient. And it's definitely been a bit of a hassle. Deku, he's been annoyed. The only other AI he's met has tried to kill him. And this one, it isn't even considered alive by his own standards. So he wants to improve it. Push it further. And that is where things are definitely hard. Because it doesn't seem like it's going to be working. Now, Deku, he does get to somewhat power himself down. And he does get to somewhat try to look at a few things. As Deku, he does go to sleep mode. Now, May eventually does go wake up. And whenever she is going to see the progress on her AI, she finds it to be very surprising. Now, with that being said, I do believe that that is a good point to leave this off of. And I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.